Chapter 34, Suspended. Chris enters the school's cafeteria and sights Jason almost immediately. He's sitting with Max at their usual table. He feels eyes watching him as they usually do. He has no intention of eating anything or staying. He's only here for one thing. Max sees him and smiles, expecting him to join them, but Chris doesn't. He heads in another direction, making a beeline for Ivy's table. The table she's always at, with her puppet and boyfriend. Ever since they fell apart in sophomore year, he has avoided her like a plague. He pays no attention to her cause she doesn't deserve it. The breakup might have been easier on him if it was like Jason's case. Haley, his ex-girlfriend, started having feelings for someone else and felt it wouldn't be fair to string Jason along. But no, Ivy had to cheat. She cheated and broke his heart. She could have just told him she was no longer interested in the relationship, but she didn't. He blames his dad for how he feels. If his dad, who doesn't deserve to be called that, didn't lay the foundation, he might not detest cheaters so much. He might see cheating as something that has the probability of happening in a relationship. After it happens, try to move on. But thanks to his dad, he doesn't. He decided to give the relationship a chance only to have his heart broken by the girl he loved or thought he loved. The girl is Ivy Summers. The girl that harassed Hazel in the girls' bathroom. The girl that is dating the guy that she doesn't deserve and she knows it. The girl that he has his eyes on as he walks to her table. He halts his steps when he gets there, and the three people occupying the table look up to see their visitor. "Hello, Ivy," Chris says menacingly. "Or should I say poison? Ivy?" Ivy is shocked to see Chris at their table, but she doesn't show it. The fact that he's talking to her too, even though not nicely, is something serious too. She smirks and gives him a once-over. "Oh, it's you. You've come out of hiding. I thought you'd avoid me for the rest of the high school." "I wasn't hiding, I just don't like seeing your face. If anyone needs to hide, it's you." "Okay, what's going on here?" Luke asks in bewilderment. "Stay out of this," Chris says to Luke. "She's my girlfriend. It's my business," Luke quips. Chris laughs humorlessly. "Your girlfriend? Are you sure? What's that supposed to mean?" Luke rises to his feet. "Oh," Chris looks around dramatically. "Your girlfriend," he does air quotes, "hasn't told you a lot about herself, has she?" "I'd be glad to do the honors." Luke glances at Ivy before focusing on Chris, waiting for what he has to say. Aspen just watches. She loves drama, and one is right in front of her. They've managed to attract the attention of almost everyone in the cafeteria, leaving them to wonder what's going on. Tables close to Ivy's can hear their conversation. Others, not so well. Jason and Max share confused looks, wondering what's up. Ivy doesn't have any idea why Chris would approach their table at all. Since she cheated on him, he has cut her out of his life. She wouldn't be surprised if he's denying ever knowing her. "Luke, your girlfriend who happens to be my ex is not who you think she is," Chris tells Luke, who is watching him with curiosity. Luke has a puzzled look on his face as he shifts his focus from Chris to Ivy. Ivy has no idea what Chris is planning or hoping to achieve, but she's getting scared though she doesn't show it. Who she is to Luke is not who she is to the rest of the school population. She tries her best to keep Luke from seeing her other side, only portraying to be the perfect sweet girlfriend. But it seems like Chris, her ex, is about to blow her cover. Would Luke still want to be with her if he knows? She'd make sure of it. He always listens to whatever she says anyway. "Your girlfriend is a bully," Chris asserts, which results in Luke shaking his head in disbelief. "She's not." Chris snickers. "She sure as hell is. She's a bitch." "Don't call her that," Luke says through gritted teeth. He moves closer to Chris so that they're standing in front of each other. "But that's what she is." Chris smirks. "Everyone in this school knows, well, except you." "You're lying." "I wish I am, but it's the truth. Don't worry, you'll get used to it." Chris nods as if to reassure him. He shifts his gaze to Ivy. She's the reason he's actually here. Not her oblivious boyfriend. Hey bitch! He hollers. I said you shouldn't call her that. He pushes Chris on the shoulders, which results in him taking 2 steps back. Don't touch me. Don't you get it? Do I have to spell it out? Ivy has been pretending around you. She knows you won't like the real her, that's why she's pretending. She's a bully, a bitch. Luke's hand hits Chris's chest in warning. Don't call her that. Chris' right hand that he doesn't even realize has clenched into a fist comes in contact with Luke's face, causing his face to whip to the opposite side with force. Cue loud gasps from the audience. What the fuck? Ivy exclaims and appears at Luke's side. Jason and Max, who have been watching like everyone else, are shocked that Chris punched Luke. They immediately leave their table and appear at both sides of Chris to stop him from doing anything that'd get him in trouble. Chris watches Ivy inspect Luke's face for any damages. He hadn't meant to punch Luke, it just happened. He's angry. He's mad at Ivy. Mad that she broke his heart in sophomore year. Mad that she went on with her life like nothing happened. Mad that she had the guts to threaten Hazel. Mad that she harassed Hazel and managed to leave a bruise on her wrist. Mad that Luke is so oblivious. Mad that someone as good as Luke is standing up for that bitch. She doesn't deserve him. She doesn't deserve anyone. She only deserves people as shitty as her. Are you insane? Ivy bellows at him. I should be asking you that, Chris says, anger flickering in his eyes. What the hell are you talking about? Ivy yells in exasperation. Luke watches them, his cheek throbbing. Damn! That hurts, he thinks. He doesn't know what's happening, but he can see that Chris is really angry. You had the guts to threaten Hazel, huh? Chris rages. Who do you think you are? Ivy's eyebrows scrunch in confusion as she tries to recall threatening anyone named Hazel. To be honest, she has done a lot of it to different people and most times didn't bother to know the person's name. Chris notices the look of utter confusion on her face and realizes that he didn't say her real name. I'm talking about Stephanie, what you did to her this morning. Oh. Her. Ivy thinks. How could she have forgotten about the loser she had to teach a lesson this morning? But why does Chris care? She wonders. I don't know what you're talking about. She feigns ignorance. Don't give me that bullshit. I know you know what I'm talking about. Or do you need me to jog your memory with a slap? He says even though he knows he can't slap her. Wait, are you talking about the same Stephanie I know? Luke finally speaks again. No one answers him. I can't believe I ever dated you. I can't believe I once thought you were a sweet, cute, harmless girl. You're nothing but a spoilt, conceited, narcissistic bitch. God. I don't even know how I got involved with you in the first place. I don't know what freshman I saw in you. Chris shakes his head before running a hand through his hair. Okay, that must have hurt, Aspen thinks. I came here to warn you to stay away from Hazel. Stay away from Stephanie. Leave her alone. If you don't, I wouldn't mind disorganizing your face that you love so much. Okay, he sure as hell wouldn't do that. She's a girl. He'd never hit a girl, but there are other ways to get the message across. Luke turns to face Ivy. Is what he's saying true? Ivy shakes her head in denial and begins to shed crocodile tears. No. He's lying to you, babe. Please believe me. Luke turns to face Chris. I think it's time for you to leave. I've heard about how you dated Ivy and cheated on her. Chris's mouth drops open. Now you're trying to break our relationship up. Please, move on. She doesn't want you. Why would I believe a man whore like you over my girlfriend? Something snaps in Chris, and before Jason or Max can stop him, his knuckles collide with Luke's face again. Luke loses his balance, staggers backward, and falls to the ground. Jason and Max hold him before he can cause any more damage. Ivy kneels beside Luke, tears rolling down her cheeks. Look at her. A pathological liar. She lied to Luke about our relationship and made me look like the bad guy. Unfortunately for Chris, the moment his fist collided with Luke's face, the principal walked into the cafeteria. "What's going on here?" the principal demands. "It's Chris. He has gone mad," Ivy cries. "Christopher Hayes, to my office. Now," the principal commands. Chris pulls away from Jason and Max's grip and heads out of the cafeteria. The two follow him. Once out of the cafeteria, Max speaks first. "Dude. What was that for?" Chris sighs, not really in the mood to talk. "Why the fuck did you do that?" Jason demands. "Language, Carter." The principal chides Jason as he walks by. "Hayes, my office." Chris slips his hands into his pockets and makes to follow the man, but Jason stops him. "We're going to discuss this later. Don't think I'll forget about it." Chris gives a subtle nod and heads to the principal's office. Once seated, the man asks, "Why did you punch him, Hayes?" Chris doesn't answer. Instead, he stares at the poster on the white wall above the principal's head. The man narrows his eyes at Chris. "Answer me, Hayes." Chris stays silent. "You know we don't condone violence in this school. I don't know what made you do that, but you'll have to be punished." Chris still doesn't say anything. "Since you can't explain yourself, you can spend the rest of the week thinking about your actions." Chris looks at the principal now and raises an eyebrow in question. "You're suspended for the rest of the week." "What?" The principal smiles. "So you can talk now, huh? You may leave." Chris stands and heads out. "Make sure you help your mom with the chores, Hayes." His mom won't like this. /N, Merry Christmas everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Chapter 35, Lie. Instead of Brooke heading in the direction her boyfriend did, she doesn't. She heads in the opposite direction, exiting the cafeteria. She goes in search of Jason with the intent of asking him what all that was all about. She finds him close to the principal's office with Max, probably waiting for someone. She approaches them. "Hey, where's Chris?" she asks when she's close enough. "He's still with the principal," Max answers. "What was that all about?" Brooke inquires. "You didn't hear?" "Not really. I couldn't make out what was being said. I stay away from Ivy as much as I can even in the cafeteria. I guess they weren't as loud as I thought." "Well." He stops talking when the door of the principal's office opens. They all stare as Chris comes out. Jason speaks first. "What did he say?" Chris shrugs, as if not affected by the situation at hand. "I've been suspended." Jason looks up and lets out a sigh as though he was expecting this. "Isn't that a little too much?" Max questions. "How many weeks?" "Just 2 days," Chris shrugs again. "Keep acting like this doesn't bother you. How do you think your mom will react to this?" Jason says, narrowing his eyes at Chris. Chris shrugs yet again. "Well, I guess I'm going to find out." "Hey Brooke," Chris says, just realizing she's there as he begins to walk away. "Hey, we haven't talked about what happened," Jason calls after him. "We'll talk later. You guys can come over after school." "I'll be home," Chris replies, not bothering to stop or slow his pace. They watch him walk away before Brooke speaks. "Can someone tell me what the hell happened?" Chris got mad and decided to confront Ivy, Jason offers. "What did she do?" Brooke inquires. She knows Chris has hated her since they broke up, or rather, she cheated on him. He hasn't spoken a word to her since then, from what she heard. Whatever she did that made him do this must be serious. She threatened some girl. Hazel, was it? Jason looks at Max to affirm the name. Max nods. "I think it's only Chris that calls her that. She goes by Stephanie." "Steph?" Brooke gapes. "Ivy did threaten Steph, but that was weeks ago." Jason's eyebrows furrow. "Wait. Isn't she the one I asked you about this morning?" Yeah, she is. Ivy threatened her, but it's been a few weeks ago. She wasn't in class for the first period, and it seems Chris doesn't have either of your phone numbers, so he asked me to ask you about her whereabouts, Jason explains. Oh, my God. That bitch did something to Steph, Brooke bellows. Yeah. And Steph lied to me, she adds bemusedly. Why would Steph lie to her? She clenches her fists, thinking of different ways to hurt Poison Ivy and end her social life. The boys notice the look on her face. Calm down, Max tells her. Calm down before you do something that will put you in Chris' position. I don't care if I get in trouble, I'm going to kill that bitch. Max, make sure she doesn't do anything stupid. I need to talk to Chris, Jason announces and walks off, hoping that he hasn't left yet. Jason sights Chris as he's about to enter his car in the parking lot. Chris. Chris stops on hearing his voice and looks to see Jason walking over. Dude, you didn't have to do that, Jason chides. Chris opens the door to the driver's seat and throws his backpack in the passenger seat. Didn't have to do what? Speak my mind to that spawn of Satan? Chris shuts the door with more force than necessary. Jason sighs. I know she's bad and... Bad? She's fucking evil. She's insane. Did you hear what Luke said? She lied to him. She has been feeding him lies, and he has been believing them. He thinks I was the one who cheated. He rambles in anger. Chris, take a chill pill. She's not worth getting yourself worked up. Who cares if she's lied to everyone about what happened? Forget about her, bro. Karma will pay her a visit at the right time, dude. Jason pats him twice on his back as Chris runs a hand through his hair out of frustration. He takes a deep breath and leans on his car. Jason does too. Where's your jacket? Chris hesitates before answering. It's with her. Jason doesn't need rocket science to know who he's referring to. Who is this Stephanie, huh? I don't even know her, and she has somehow managed to gain your attention and have you do crazy things to stand up for her. And she has your jacket, dude. Who's she? Jason asks quizzically, raising his eyebrows suggestively. Chris clears his throat awkwardly. She's just some girl. A friend. Are you sure? She's just a friend? Nothing more? She is just a friend, Jason. I do not believe you, Jason says in a serious tone before a grin appears on his face. I think you like her. Chris huffs. No, I do not. She's not even my type. Jason simpers, keep telling yourself that. So when do I get to meet this Stephanie? Chris pulls himself off the car, not wanting to have this conversation as he doesn't believe anything Jason is saying. You don't need to meet her. I have to go. You should get to class, Chris tells him as he enters his car. You're just trying to avoid this conversation, but don't worry, very soon you'll be asking me for relationship advice, Jason says smugly. Chris doesn't reply, he just shakes his head slightly as he turns on the ignition. Jason shuts the door and steps away from the car. As Chris begins to pull out of his parking space, Jason hollers. Tell your special friend I said hi. He laughs uproariously as Chris flashes him the finger before driving away. Brooke is livid. She's annoyed, angry, vexed, peeved, pissed off, mad, upset. What other synonyms are there at Stephanie? She lied to her. Steph freaking lied to her. When she didn't see Steph, she texted her, asking her where she was. Steph replied that she wasn't feeling too well, so she went home. Brooke doesn't remember her looking like someone who isn't feeling well this morning, but she noticed she was spacing out. She found it odd that she went home just like that, but then she found out that there's more to the story. Ivy did something to Steph, and if Chris didn't confront her and make a scene in the cafeteria, maybe she'd never know about it. Since she promised Steph that she'd come over to check on her after school, she is driving to Steph's house. When she gets to Steph's, she'll make sure she expresses her disappointment and anger at Steph. Anger that she lied to her and planned to keep this from her. Brooke grips the steering wheel harder than necessary before losing her grip a little. Aren't best friends supposed to tell each other everything? She wanted to find Ivy and scratch off the flesh on her face when she heard the news, but Max managed to stop her. She's glad she didn't have to see the bitch's face till school closed. If she did, she wouldn't have been able to resist doing exactly what she has pictured in her head. Brooke pulls into Steph's driveway and turns off the ignition. She takes a deep breath to calm herself down. Maybe she's just jumping to conclusions. Maybe Steph didn't want to tell her over the phone. Maybe she's planning to tell her in person. She really should relax. She should only let herself get mad if Steph doesn't tell her. Brooke gets out of the car and heads for the porch. As she lifts her hand to knock, the door opens to reveal Steph with a smile on her face. "Hey B. Come on in," Steph ushers her in. Brooke bites on her bottom lip as she passes the threshold into the hallway. Once Brooke sits, Steph asks her if she'll like something to drink. "I'm okay," Brooke declines. Steph smiles and sits on another couch. "So how was school?" Brooke shrugs. "The usual. How are you feeling now?" "Much better," Steph replies, avoiding Brooke's eyes, and she notices. "You sure?" Steph nods. "Why are you lying to me, Steph? Why?" Brooke groans and covers her face with her hands. "I can't believe this." Steph feigns ignorance. "What are you talking about, B?" She doesn't want to tell Brooke what happened. She knows how crazy her best friend is. She can decide to do something really stupid to Ivy and get in trouble. Or reprimand her for not breaking Ivy's bones. "I know what happened in school, Stephanie," Brooke asserts, staring at her. Steph lets out an awkward laugh. "You mean me not feeling well and deciding to come home?" "No, Steph," Brooke hisses. "I mean you leaving school after whatever Ivy did to you." Steph gapes with a guilty look on her face. "How did you know?" "The question is why you don't want to tell me about it. Why the fuck would you do that?" Brooke rages. Steph sighs in defeat. Chris wasn't supposed to tell her. "I'm sorry." Brooke cuts off. "I thought we are best friends. Why would you try to hide this from me? Were you even planning on telling me at all?" "I'm sorry, B." Steph stands and then takes tentative steps before settling beside Brooke on the couch. "I just thought it'd be better that way. I guess I didn't want to bother you with my problem." Brooke narrows her eyes at her best friend sitting beside her. She feels bad about not telling her. "And I know you'd murder Ivy and then end up in jail," Steph laughs slightly. Brooke scoffs. "I would have if Max didn't stop me, and I still might." "Max?" "Yeah. Chris and Jason's friend that isn't as popular as they are," Brooke tells her. "Oh, the guy that always sits with them in the cafe." Silence envelopes them and Steph sighs when Brooke doesn't say anything. "I'm really sorry, B. I'll never try to hide anything from you again. I promise." Brooke folds her arms across her chest and looks away, pretending she's still mad at Steph, but the truth is that she can never be mad at her best friend for long. "B." Steph coos and tries to tickle her, but Brooke swats her hands away and smiles. "Fine. I forgive you." Steph grins. "This better not happen again." "It won't. I promise. And I didn't exactly lie. I just didn't tell you. You told me you weren't feeling well, which is a lie. You look perfectly fine to me. Now tell me exactly what happened," Brooke demands. Steph tells her, skipping the little talk she had with Chris in the cafe. "Gosh, I hate that bitch," Brooke says. "I know. Did I tell you that she's scared of you?" Steph laughs. "It's for her own good." Brooke smiles. "I'm glad you stood up to her, but you didn't break her bones, so I'm not exactly proud of you." Steph rolls her eyes. Exactly what she thought. "I just need to get my hands on her, and she wouldn't believe what I'd do to her." "Ice cream?" Steph asks as she turns on the TV. "When do I ever not want ice cream?" Brooke gives her an incredulous look. "Never." "So Chris helped you," Brooke states as Steph rises to her feet. Steph smiles. "Yeah. He's actually a good guy, minus the fact that he's a player." Brooke smirks. That smile. It means something. She wiggles her eyebrows suggestively. No, it doesn't. And Chris wasn't supposed to even tell you. He didn't, Brooke deadpans, which causes Steph's eyebrows to furrow in confusion. He went to confront her and ended up punching Luke in the face. Twice. Luke probably has a broken nose now. So Chris got suspended, Brooke adds, waiting for her reaction. Steph shakes her head slightly, not believing a word she said. You're funny. I'm serious. Brooke nods slowly with a knowing look on her face. It's a lie, Steph says as she occupies her previous position on the couch, totally forgetting about the ice cream. The look on Brooke's face tells her otherwise. Chapter 36, Truth. Honestly, Chris has been thinking about what Jason said to him at the parking lot. I think you like her, Jason had said. Does he? No. He doesn't. Just as he said, Hazel isn't his type. Or is she? No. He's pretty sure she isn't. He doesn't like her. Or does he? No, he doesn't. He stops his contemplation as he hears his mom's car pull into the driveway. She's home, and that means it's time to face the music. All he knows is that she won't be happy. Which mother would be happy her kid got suspended? She'll be mad at him. He walks to the door and opens it for them to enter. He grins on sighting Emily, and she does too. She hugs him. Chris. How was school, Em? He asks, ruffling her hair even though he knows she doesn't like when he does it. She swats his hands away. It was fun. Chris then shifts his gaze to his mom, who has a blank look on her face. She shuts the door. Emily baby, go drop your backpack in your room and wait for me, his mom tells her softly. Emily heads for her room and Chris sighs, waiting for his mom's chastising. So you decided to get yourself suspended, huh? His mom flares with anger the moment Emily's out of sight. She checks her handbag on the couch. Geez, Mom. The handbag did nothing to you, Chris thinks. That's not how it happened, Mom. His mom glares at him. Oh. Really? Then tell me how it happened, son. I didn't mean to cause any trouble, Chris says. Oh. So trouble single-handedly decided to come your way? She asks incredulously. What's going on, Chris? Are you moving with the wrong crowd or something? Why would you initiate a fight? It wasn't a fight, Mom. I just punched the guy twice. Chris says, resisting the urge to roll his eyes since it would only add fuel to the fire. Tell me what happened, Christopher. His mom's stern voice sounds through the living room. Ivy did something bad to Hazel and I went to confront her and tell her to stay away from Hazel. Her boyfriend said something annoying so I punched him. Twice. Chris explains. Okay. I might have overreacted, he adds, looking anywhere but his mom's face. Oh really? You just realized that? His mom retorts, her anger dissipating. I'm disappointed in you. I'm sorry, Mom. The last thing I wanted was for this to happen. I hate it when you're mad at me and I'm really sorry for disappointing you, he apologizes with a somber look on his face. His mom sighs and settles down on a couch. Is it the same Ivy I used to know? Yes and no. It's her, but she's a totally different person now. She does all sorts of bad things to people. I wonder what went wrong. Chris shrugs. People change. He knows he did after she broke his heart. Is she okay? His mom asks, referring to Stephanie. Hazel? Yeah, she is. Chris smiles and his mom doesn't miss it. I know I said you and Stephanie would make a great couple, but please, don't go around wreaking havoc because of her. His mom avers. Chris groans. I didn't do it because of her. Why does everyone think that? His mom smiles. Okay, fine. She stands and picks up her handbag before heading for the stairs. I'll be going out tonight, meet a client at 7. Okay. The next day, Brooke picks Stephanie up and they head for school. Turns out my parents got a call that I skipped school, Steph tells Brooke, who's driving. Brooke laughs. You didn't know? The school calls the parents when a kid's absent. I didn't know. You should have told me so I'd have prepared myself for the questions, Steph huffs. What she didn't expect yesterday was for her parents to arrive from work, and the first thing they said to her when she had let them in was, "Why did you skip school, young lady?" She was taken aback for a few seconds before her mom explained that the school called. What did you tell them was the reason you skipped school? Brooke asks. What I initially told you, Steph shrugs. That girl. Brooke smirks. Brooke parks her car in a parking space when they arrive at school. They get out of the car and later end up at Steph's locker. Steph enters her locker combination and opens it. She shrugs her backpack off her shoulder and then pulls a Chris' jacket after unzipping it. Is that his jacket? Steph hears Brooke ask as she puts it into her locker. Yeah, she glances at Brooke to see a simper on her face, which makes her roll her E. Yes. You really should stop having all those crazy ideas in your head. Chris and I are just friends. I don't like him, B. But you still like Luke? Brooke quirks an eyebrow. Unfortunately, yes. Steph continues to sort through her locker so her back is facing Brooke. I intend to avoid him throughout today. Brooke purses her lips as she sights her boyfriend and Luke walking over. Too late for that. Steph realizes what Brooke means just as the boys reach them. Is the universe against me or something? Steph asks herself. Hey babe, she hears Cole say as he hugs Brooke. Sorry about yesterday, Luke, Brooke tells him. Steph takes a deep breath. She can't pretend she doesn't know they're here. She shuts her locker and turns around to face them. Hey guys. Steph forces a smile with her gaze on Cole. I need to talk to you, Steph. In private. Luke announces, without preamble. That's exactly what Ivy said yesterday, and look what happened, Steph thinks. Okay. We'll leave you two to talk. Cole says. See you later, baby girl. Brooke smirks as Cole drags her away. Steph watches them instead of facing Luke, who wants to talk to her. When they're out of sight, she finally looks at Luke. Hi, he says now that he has her attention. Hey. She espies his face for any bruises, but only sees a tiny cut on his lower lip. Luke notices her scanning his face. My face? Ivy used something to cover it up. Luckily, he didn't break my nose. I heard what happened. I'm sorry, Steph mutters. Luke chuckles. It's not your fault. I said something he didn't like. Steph nods and looks away as silence ensures. Okay, this is awkward, she concludes. You said you wanted to talk to me about something, she breaks the silence. Oh yeah, that's true. Luke scratches the back of his neck. I need to ask you something and I need you to tell me the truth. He has a serious look on his face and Steph braces herself for the question. Go ahead. What Chris said yesterday, I know you weren't there, but Brooke must have told you about it, he starts and she nods. Is it true? Yup, that's the question she was expecting. You want the truth? Steph asks monotone, meeting his eyes. Yes. Nothing but the truth. Have you talked to her? Asked her about it? Steph questions. Yes, I have. And what did she say? She prods, closing her eyes for a moment. She lied. She lied. That's what she did. I'd be surprised if she told the truth. If she did, all hell will break loose. Come to think of it, if she told him the truth, he shouldn't be asking, Steph muses. She said it's a lie. She said everything Chris said was a lie. That I shouldn't believe him. Luke says with an expectant look, waiting for Steph to affirm it. Steph lets out a breath. That's exactly what she thought Ivy would say. I'm sorry, Luke, but she lied. She confesses and sees Luke's face crumble. Really? Yes. Really. That day we hung out at the park with Cole and Brooke. Ivy somehow found out about it and then threatened me on the following Monday. Yesterday she attacked me in the girls' bathroom with Aspen, just because I didn't heed her warning to stay away from you, Steph elaborates. Luke feels a pang in his chest. He doesn't want to believe Stephanie, but somehow, he knows it's the truth. Why would she even lie to him? Ivy has been the one lying to him. Who knows what else she's lied about? Do you know that Chris and Ivy dated before? He decides to ask. Yes. She tucks her hands in the pockets of her blue hoodie. What made them separate? Ivy cheated on Chris. Steph answers. Luke lets out a humorless laugh and runs a hand through his black hair. I have to get to class, Steph says, figuring out he might need some time for the information to sink in. She walks away without waiting for a reply from him. After school closes, Brooke and Steph head to the parking lot with Cole, who has his girlfriend's hand in his. Brooke unlocks the car for Steph. She gets into the car and shuts the door. Steph checks inside her backpack to make sure Chris' jacket is in it. She's planning to go to his house before going home. She watches Brooke and Cole, smiling at each other as they talk. They both look happy, really happy. Steph begins to wonder what it'd feel like to have a boyfriend who really likes her and that she likes also. She finds herself picturing the said imaginary boyfriend to be Luke. Both of them, holding hands, and are happy together. She looks away and shakes her head as if to scold herself. She shouldn't be thinking or wondering about that. All she should care about is her academics and getting into college. She'll have thoughts like this later. Thinking about Luke, she wonders what's going to happen between him and Ivy. He looked hurt when she told him the truth in the morning, and all the time she saw him throughout the day, he wasn't his usual self. She has a feeling that whatever would happen, Ivy won't like it. The sound of the door to the driver's side opening jolts Steph out of her train of thought. Brooke occupies the driver's seat with a grin on her face. She turns on the ignition and winds down her window. Bye, Steph. Cole hollers. Steph looks through Brooke's window to see Cole still standing there. Bye. She smiles at him. She watches them blow each other kisses before Brooke drives away. So I heard people talking about what happened in the cafeteria yesterday. Brooke tells Steph. I heard it too, trust me. Some people are wondering who Hazel is and few others Stephanie. Some believe Chris was talking about a junior. Brooke chuckles as she drives. I hope they continue to believe that. I don't want any more drama. Steph comments. Some think Luke deserves it and others are supporting him. But the larger percentage supports Chris, 'cause he's hotter and Luke is dating the bitch. Steph shakes her head slowly. High school. What do you think Luke's gonna do now that he knows the truth? Brooke questions, glancing at Steph. Honestly, I think he's gonna break up with her unless he's too much in love with her to leave her. I hope he isn't in love with her at all. For his own sake. Are you still going to Chris' house? Yeah, I am. But you're not babysitting today. Why are you going there? Stop those stupid ideas in your head, B. I just want to talk to him about yesterday and return his jacket. Steph answers. Well, don't forget to tell him I admire what he did yesterday. Too bad he got suspended. Steph rolls her eyes. Okay. I'll deliver your message. Brooke chuckles and she turns on the radio. A few minutes later, Brooke is parked in front of Chris' house and Steph gets out but leaves the door open. Do you want me to wait for you? Brooke asks. No. There's no need for that. Steph shakes her head as she fixes a strap of her backpack on her shoulder. Brooke grins. Okay then, I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to deliver my message. Brooke winks at Steph. You're not normal. Steph tells her, emphasizing the last word before shutting the door. She watches Brooke drive away before taking a deep breath and heading for the front porch. She has no intention of staying too long here. She just wants to return his jacket and thank him for standing up for her at school. She knocks and after some agonizing seconds, the door opens to reveal Chris, wearing an apron. Wait, what? Hazel? Chris gapes as he stares at her. She's the last person he was expecting to be behind the door. "What are you doing here?" Instead of Steph replying, she rakes her eyes over his outfit and then smiles. "Can I come in?" she asks. Sure." He opens the door wider and steps aside to let her in. His hand moves to the back of his neck and he rubs it. "Nice outfit," she tells him as she walks into the house. Chris almost blushes in embarrassment as he shuts the door. She isn't supposed to see him like this. "So what brings you here?" he inquires as he moves closer to where she's standing in the middle of the living room. "You're not babysitting today." "I know. I came to return your jacket," Steph declares. "Seriously? You came all the way here just to return my jacket?" Chris chuckles. "Brooke drove me here from school," she informs him as she hands him his jacket. "Thanks." He takes it with a smile and sniffs it. Steph stares at him weirdly, knowing that she did that too. "I washed it." "You shouldn't have bothered," he asserts as he drops it on the arm of the couch. "What's with the apron?" Steph raises a brow in question. Chris shrugs like him wearing an apron is not a big deal. "My mom got it for me because she wants me to spend more time in the kitchen." He rolls his eyes. "I've never worn it, so I decided to try it on today." Steph laughs lightly. "Well, it suits you." Chris settles down on the three-seater couch and Steph sits too, leaving enough space between them. "I heard what happened." "Of course you did. Word travels fast." Chris looks away. Steph grins. "If I knew you'd get yourself in trouble, I wouldn't have told you." Chris faces her and opens his mouth to say something, but she lifts her index finger indicating that she's not done talking. "But I'm grateful. Thank you for standing up for me, Christopher. I appreciate it. You're the first person to do that apart from Brooke and my family. So thank you," Steph sincerely says. Something about her tone and how she's looking at him makes him feel weird, so he looks away and shrugs. "It's what friends do." Steph smiles at his answer. "I'm sorry you got suspended." "It's not your fault." "But did you really have to punch him?" "He called me a man whore and I snapped," Chris says in monotone. "Oh," Steph mumbles, looking at her joined hands on her lap as if it's the most interesting thing in the room. "I once called you that." "I'm sorry." Chris yet again shrugs. "It's kinda what I am." He pauses. "Or used to be." Now that he thinks about it, the last time he kissed someone was at that party, the one they played Truth or Dare. And the last time he hooked up with someone was the time he was still trying to find Hazel. Steph doesn't ask what he means by his last sentence. It's none of her business. It's his life. He can sleep around for all she cares. It's not like he's her boyfriend or anything. A timer goes off in the kitchen, breaking the awkward silence. "The cookies." Chris grins as he hurries to the kitchen. Steph pulls out her phone to keep herself busy as she waits for him. When he's done in the kitchen, he returns to the living room, without his apron. Steph looks up from her phone when he returns. He's wearing basketball shorts and a t-shirt. "I'll be back," he says and walks away. Steph goes back to scrolling through her phone. He returns with a basketball in hand. She gives him a questioning look. "Follow me," he instructs. She puts away her phone and follows him. He leads them through the front door to the driveway. She looks around and realizes that the driveway is some kind of makeshift basketball court with a hoop attached to the top of the garage and chalk on the ground. "You want me to watch you play?" "No. We're going to play together." He smirks. "No," she deadpans. "Okay," Chris smiles. "How about this? Every time you get the ball in, I'll tell you something I like about you." Steph deliberates his offer for a few seconds. Chris is hard to read. She doesn't know what he's thinking most of the time. "I'm in." Chris grins as if he knew she'd agree. "Where's Emily?" Steph asks. "And your mom?" "I don't know. My mom picked her up from school." They're probably in a mall or an ice cream parlor or something. He answers, dribbling the ball swiftly like he has been doing it his whole life. Pass me the ball, let me blow your mind, Steph says, pulling the sleeves of her hoodie up. You have to get it yourself, Chris replies. He dribbles the ball through and around his legs, moving it from his right to left hand as he goes. Steph watches him for a few seconds before huffing. She joins him and tries to get the ball from him, but she isn't able to. 3 minutes later, she still doesn't have the ball while Chris is enjoying messing with her. She throws her hands in the air. I give up. I can't do this anymore, Steph tells him, her voice breathless. Chris laughs and passes the ball to her. Go ahead. He gestures towards the hoop. Steph smiles and positions herself before aiming for the hoop. She misses. 5 throws later, she still hasn't gotten it. I hate this. Chris laughs. Watching her struggle to get the ball in has been fun. Aim for the hoop. That's what I've been doing, Steph whines, blowing a stray hair out of her face. Bend your knees, he instructs her. And form a C shape with your shooting arm. Make sure your hand is under the ball. Steph does as she's told. Aim higher. She does. Your eyes on the rim, Chris says, moving closer. He takes her arm and lifts it higher, then adjusts her fingertips under the ball. He moves behind her and Steph feels his hands on her waist. Her breath hitches and her eyes slightly widen, but she does nothing to stop him. He's just teaching you, Stephanie. Relax. You need to get the ball in this time. She feels him press down on her waist so that her legs will bend more. He withdraws his hands, but doesn't move away. Focus on the rim. She does. Go for it. Everything seems to be in slow motion as they watch the ball go. It swishes smoothly through the net. Yes! Steph yells in triumph, fist bumping the air. I did it! She grins at him. With my help, Chris says with a teasing smile. Whatever. She rolls her eyes as she picks up the ball and walks back to him. She traps the ball between her thigh and right hand. What's the first thing you like about me? Chris moves even closer to her. You really want to know? He smirks. Yes. He smiles as he tucks a strand of hair behind her ear. His hand lingers there as he stares intensely at her. Steph feels weird with the way he's staring at her, but she doesn't look away. Instead, she swallows the lump in her throat. His eyes darken as they move to her lips, and he remembers how it felt like kissing her. He wants to feel like that again, so he finds himself leaning in.